Ha 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 ha. Oh, what's in the background? Oh, one of my pictures. That that is the Pontiac boat. This is done 7 years ago before I had any idea what in the world I was doing this for. Now I know what it's for. Here's a spirit ball. How do I know it's a spirit ball? Take a look. There's a chop. The black line is the beta line, and the four corners, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the center, and the center you do not see is the dot. That makes the 5 lines, okay, of the one spirit of 5. The line that goes across is 1 and 4, okay? But if you cross the angles and break up the corners, it's 1 and 5. 3 balls, okay? And this would be your answer to pi. Pi is a ball. That's what it has to be. You see, I don't study. I have absolutely no idea how they got the pi, but right now it's telling me pi is a ball. Everything else in cross connections, like down here, they're all V's. V's create just about everything. Anything. One V in one line, and you got 4, 5, and 6. Now 4 is the middle of 1 and 7. 5 is the middle of 2 and 8, and 6 is the middle of 1 and 9. You have the 9 lives of the cat set up right there. It's not that hard. And then here, you see the way this part is pulled away from this part? Okay, because this is the heaven's exit over here. This is number 8. Okay, this is delta. This is delta. This is where you would call Antarctica. It's slightly separated. Her power and energy regenerates and goes right up to the top. Now you see the whole top over here? This should be cut off also, right over here. This ends up to be like a bee's nest. And where is the bee getting all her stuff from? Here, 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 and here. And where is the energy coming from? Right up here, going all the way down through the center over here and into here. That's the energy. The energy is siphoned out to this side here and out to this side here. That's why you see the E up here? I mean the V that's up here. Well, if you would put a line straight up to go in number 1 or put a line straight up to go in number 3, you end up with the W. If you do it the opposite way, you would end up making an X in the center right here. So it can only be done with the 1 on the bottom. The M is on the bottom, the W is on the top. W stands for beta 3 creation, and the M is 1 spirit of 3 creation, 1 3 on your telephone. So it comes from down here because it can only be created down here, the M. Right over here, the M can be created. And at the same time, it would create MX. Okay. You see the way? Just a triangle. What in the world am I putting a triangle? This, by the way, is juniper bird over here. Now, if you really take a look, there's an eye over here. Okay. And there's an eye over here. This is a bird here that goes all the way down to here. They all connect to each other. They all connect to each other. They're all connected. And if you look up here, it's 2 eyes, a nose in the center that ends here, and then his mouth over here. Then you've got the mug and dove over here. And over here, you have the number 7. The number 7, okay, 2 7s together face to face end up creating a word, 10,000. 2 7s face to face that just cross over 7 means 10,000. And am I right? I'm 100% right. I'm 1,000% right. Wouldn't I be right? Wouldn't you be right? Why? Because it's the representative of 10 times. 10 times. Now, how can I explain that better than this? M means 1,000 in Roman numerals. Okay. X is 10. 10 times. Another thing is when you take a 7 over a 7, right? This is the way it looks. Has anybody heard of the letter Aleph? And they see the little arm on this side that's turned around? Well, this arm is turned around for the reason it's part of creation. There really isn't any arm here. The only part that's over here is the cross part that goes across. They only use one of the angles. The reason for that, because in this world, it's the beta world, and there is no 1 space. The 1 space is connected through 9, but the 1 doesn't connect over to 3. It's the 2 that connects over to 3, and it's the 2 that goes over to 1. So here's your X, here's your line that goes on top, and in Roman numerals, this is 10,000. And like I said, MX, because M is 1,000 and X is 10. But why M? I'll just show you the... Because you see this on this side and this side, this is the ending of the cube on both sides. Once an X has been brought to a corner, once the line's been brought to a corner, you make a box around it to show how it became that X. You run to each corners. You just can't run anywhere you want in here. You see I finished this one, and there's the 2 legs are sticking out just a bit. Now I'm going to have to spend 2-3 hours just to find out why those legs are sticking out. I have to make the design bigger. I have to make the design smaller. I'll show you another thing. Okay. Almost the same. This one, when it finishes in another box. Okay. This one is looped together here. The difference between this and this, I'm going to show you, is what M is all about. You see the center of the M letter. You see the M letter? I put a stick here and a stick here. The secret to the M letter is to know where the division is between the left side and the right side, okay? In this one over here, okay, over here, you see the point is at the center, so you know where the center line is now. And now you just can do that. I mean, it's not a big procedure, you know. You just split it down the center. You do this, and then you get the letter N out of it, okay? In this one, the difference is, I'm going to just try and, I'm hoping that I can, let me see if I can get this right. You see, here it's touching the line like this one. Here it's touching the line like this one. But this is the club card. The one at the top, okay, has to be open. And the reason it's open is when this, okay, and this come together, if they're touching, okay, this element will touch both of them together and give one element, which is what we want. And that's why it's closed. Because now what I do, I'll explain it all after if I could, is these two connect directly in the center. This line has nothing to do with the center of this line over here. Okay, this is a passage line. This is to show you there's space to go from this line to this line. In the club, okay, it doesn't work that way. Okay, in the club, it all comes over here in the club. If you ever take a look at the club card, it's over here, and then it becomes a stand. This is almost like putting on your Walkman on each side of your head. There's the left side of your head, there's the right side of your head. Here you're connected, the whole body. But here it's your head, it's your brain. Okay? Our brain part of the body might be whole, but our mind is not whole. There's definitely a division between our minds, because otherwise I would just tell you, hey guys, you know me, I know you. Yeah, I won't be making any videos tomorrow from my pad, from my house. I'm going up to visit my angel because I got a straight connection with him and I know exactly where he is. But that's not true, and you can't go. So the mind is divided between God's mind and thinking, between the natural ways of the universe, and based on our own personal judgment of the ego brain. What do you mean ego? I say ego. E-I-E-I-O, ego. Ego, we get $200, no? Ah, two, Beta world, undread. I don't hear no H. E in the heaven? Well, you don't always need the H, my friend, because once you use a U, it means two. You're in both. The minute you pass one, you're already in the next world. You don't have to pronounce the gates of heaven. It's automatic. You're here, you're alive, you've passed through the gates of heaven. It was just a thought. The transfer was what ended it all off. T-H-O-U-G-H-T. O-U-G-H-T. Oo means where? G-H-T. Thought. T-H, time, heaven. O-U, and in French it would be omega where? omega U, but putting them two together makes it omega where. What I'm seem to be coming upon now is that it seems like when I make something two in the beta world, it seems like it's more French. I speak more French. Why do I speak French? Because beta, she's the woman. Well, because she acts like one. She is the cat and the dog. And in French, cat means 4. It also has a number count of 60, which is 6 omega. And that's the world we're in. Like I've said before, these are the two most important fruits probably in the world. Well, there are others, okay? But when a prune or a date, okay, dehydrate, they ain't doing too good. Neither is any other fruit. But when this dehydrates, it's not so bad. It gets hard and it keeps on rolling. It never loses any air. It's spongy. You know, if you don't put too much weight on it, you'll get a good roll out of it. Oh my God! The energy of life, my friends. It's a remen and a rhyme. It's a remen and a rhyme and the end of time. This is how it comes together. LL, 12 and 12 is 24. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. 2 times 4 is 8 for MrTacpans 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. 8 and 6 is 14. 1, 4, the first two numbers of pi. 1, 4, 1, 5. It's not that hard, my friends, because pi can be broken down. I'm going to be doing that in another video, except I want to make it good. Just want to show you a couple of more ways. You see, this is the delta angle. Okay. The reason this one is the delta 4 angle is because it grabs 1 and 7, but the point of the whole matter of the two ends breaks down to be valued at 4. Have you ever done Roman numerals before? Here in this value, if you want to know how it works, on this side, okay, because it's in between, okay, but when it points down, you should be putting that your dot down. When it points in, you should make your dot in. What happens when this meets this face to face? They create an X with two walls on the side with two sticks like standing guards. Stand on guard for me. Did I show you in the last video that all they did, okay, all they did to create, you see this? 1 delta, 2 delta, and within the deltas alone, they only followed the lines to create this. She is what created. You see, normally this piece over here is supposed to go over here. Excuse me. This here is number 9. Number 2, beta world, is supposed to stretch out all the way to 9. Now, I have finished it in here. Now, I have to find out why I finished it in here, and if I don't like it, I'm going to extend it to here and see what happens here. One of the reasons I'm leaving this for now here is because I have a perfect omega box. See the way it's up and down on the angle? If it was a dice, it would look like this. Okay? You see the same thing? But when it's alpha, he sticks out on the corners. You see the way got a pen in my hand. See the way alpha would stick out? Let me show you something a little bit bigger. Let me show you something a little bigger. If alpha was a square, okay, where am I? See, if he was a square, he'd be sticking out where those points are, right there. See what that looks like? It looks like a D on that side. And then if he was a point, he'd be sticking out on the other side like this. There it is. So the point on the bottom and the point on the top of the card, I would now have to meet. It's not that hard, okay? It's definitely not that hard. But one mind to continuously move on the same thing, it's not that hard. It's long. It may take a lifetime. In fact, I might be in heaven before I actually finish. Now, maybe I should put a goal out there for me and say, okay, before I die as MrTacpans, now where would I like to be? I will actually be finished at the point, I'll be continuing off at the point I am. So what would I do? Okay, this is what I'm going to bet with myself. Okay, I bet that I get at least 20,000 viewers by the time I die. Now I'm at 10,000 now. Okay, and I'm going on 1 and 2 a day. I'm getting viewed 1 and 2 a day. Well, the other, it was actually 40, 50 a day, but we're taking off one of the 10s because I want to make it sound less than more. When it sounds less than more, it's actually sounding good when you see more, and I said less, and you'll go, oh, not bad. Good thought, eh? Of course, hitting a softball. Here's another thing. This is a board I'm preparing for Monopoly. And the reason for that is the dice, right? It fits right here. And then here. And then this dice is like this. And do you remember what I said about the V on the dice? It's the V on the dice that creates a Y, and it creates the V, which means pointing to what angle. You see, it's pointing to what angle. This will be the Monopoly game. These will be the trains. These will be the corners. Go, jail, or visiting jail. Jail is A-I-L, means garlic. Seems like everything I turn around comes from the other world. But is it coming from that world or that world? Well, this is the way I see it. Actually, that world is only God. Okay? This world is beta. That's a return heaven. So we're actually working with the Spirit of God and the beta heaven. It'd be more or less looking at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. 3, 9, and 12 equals 3 and 9 is 12, and 12 is 24. I think we just doubled up in the beta world because 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, we just did the whole situation again. There's only 99 different 2-number combinations, in which half of them are repeats. God repeated himself. He doubles up in the beta world. 46, 64. Did I repeat myself? 22, 22. Well, how do you repeat yourself with 22? Did you get it? 2 and 2 is already repeated. So 22, like 64 is 46, but what's 22? 22nd letter in the alphabet is the V for life. And that's why it doesn't repeat. And the same thing with 33, and the same thing with 44, and the same thing with 55. Now, dice on the 6, you still get 66, but you're not getting 77, because 77 is a repeat of creation. It's just the gates for creation. Don't forget, you buy a car, you need a hole for the gas tank, and you need a place for the driver to sit and the 4 wheels. It's basically like that. And every time I stop talking to think of something else, it all disappears on me. Let me look at the picture and maybe we'll end it here. I really never liked this picture. I blew it up so it doesn't look as small as it used to. Obviously, if you blow something up, it won't be smaller than it was, will it? Will it? Come on, guys. If you blow something up, will it be smaller than it was? Yes, it will. Look at the trade centers, the Twin Towers. They blew them up. They were smaller than they were. Now, if you take a balloon and you blow it up, it explodes. So the use and terms of the words we use are pretty funny sometimes. And that's where all the jokes come in. Boy, I wish I could write down every single thought I had in joke. And God, oh my God, oh my God. God, that's all he does is talk about sex. He talks about sex all the time. Spirits, angels, mother and sex and spirits and angels, because the spirit is the S. The angel is depending on which spirit he's using, because the 1 and 9 makes 10, which is man. That's the 1-9 spirit. The other one is not actually God himself, would be beta, and then she would be talking. The only one that gets to talk is actually me. Man 6 of the birth 9 of the 1 spirit of the 6th God of the 7th gate of the 2 beta world, creating 777, 21 and 3 worlds. Why does she create 21 and 3 worlds? Because 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Angel and man to 1 God. Angel and man to 1 God. Angel and man to 1 God. Angel, spirit, and man. Angel, spirit, man, and God. Angel, spirit, man, and God. Angel, spirit, hold on a second. Angel, spirit, man, and God. Angel, spirit, man. Alpha, alpha, omega, angel, spirit, and man almost says orgasm, basically. It also says gas man, because God, angel, spirit is gas. So why did we call gas the way we did? Because man called it that way, not because they were thinking of God, because God was making them think of it. We all think we're thinking of it. We're not thinking of it at all. The only thing we get to do in this life is take a choice. Okay, I'm going to start thinking now. That's what it is. You have to just start thinking. Now, whatever you think is going to come from God, but your will to want to think is what's going to get you that information that you start thinking of. And sometimes it means nothing because you haven't worked on it. You got all the information. You haven't thought anything about it. It means nothing to you because you haven't tried. So anyways, where else? What else? Into 20 minutes, I didn't even know. Beta, delta, fate. The fate of man. There is nothing down here. This is over here, but it doesn't matter. This is where we are. That's all this is. This is where we are. This V will take the rope and swing it around and come back up here. Fate is who we are. B, D, F. B, E. E would go in the center. Be deaf. To be deaf, it says right here. Anyways, I'm not going to drag it on more than this. Oh, of course I got to drag it on more than this. Usually I don't, but I will. Here's how it goes. 5 star, 4 star. 4 points, 4 points, but it crosses in the center, making a 5th point. And automatically by the crossing in the center once, crossing in the center twice, it automatically counts for 2. Crossing twice is 2, plus the 5, the total is 7. Plus, if you extend out to here, and out to here, and out to here, and out to here, it changes it. There's more to this than that. But the reason for the cross is because the cross goes in here, which touches this point, this point, this point, and this point, making the x value of 5, making the 4 value, the square value or diamond value at 4. 5 and 4, 9 birth. 5 by 4 is 20, which is XX, the beta world. 5 plus 4, 5 by 4 is 29. That's this year. Beta and birth, everybody knows it comes in the Pontiac sign. Comes in the Pontiac sign. Pontiac boat. How come I don't have no Pontiac signs up there? Diamond. Look at this. Inside of a G. See this leg here for the G? Not for the C? Because this part here, okay, of the Magen David, it's open. It's number 9. And it's open. It's got to be supported by the G God. So this letter C comes around and comes up here and then runs right underneath here, supporting this end of the Magen David. So the only tilt it'll have is towards the inside corner. Okay, but because of this angle over here, the angles, okay, on the Magen David, okay, is what keeps it from tilting. And talking by angles in French, okay, they say angle iron, which can also be set as angel iron, or an iron is the iRobot. And in French, angle iron will be fer rond. In English, they say angle, okay, which is an angle V, okay. And in French, they call it a round. How is that? French say round, and the English say angle iron, and the French say fer round. One is round, and one is the angle or the L angle. They call this in fer round. This is what a fer round is. Okay, this is the omega. Fer. Fer means to create. This is the creator. L-O, low, ola, whatever you want to do to it. Fer round, iron, iron. Birth, angel, resident, omega. 14th and 15th letter. 15th and 14th letter. This is basically pi backwards. Fair rounds, 18, 28, 33, 43, 53, 54, 64, 68, 72. Beta God, round. Iron, 9, 27, 37, 42, 56. So this is the beta God, and 56 is right over here, 5 and 6. It's the angle creation of the wolf. It takes up this center over here. Because it's all about man, you know. This side is man, this side is God and all his numbers, and this is the two of them connecting them together over here. How this side and this side connects is through here, whether or not it's going to be red or black. So we now see 56 as that. Not only that, it's the connection because 56 or 65, and 65 means the connections of the 7th gate. 56 is 5 by 6 is 30, and 5 and 6 is 11 totals to 41 or 1/4, which is the N letter, which is the passage letter, which also stands for the Mediterranean in the Middle East, and that's one of the big reasons these people in the Middle East better start thinking about God and stop thinking about war and everything else. And I thought I would never say something like that. You got to start thinking about God, because the actual truth to everything lies in the hands of God and into us basically understanding why we're here and why this is all created. Okay? Isn't that what one of the questions is? Why are we all here? Well, don't you see where everybody's killing each other now? And it's not supposed to be like that. And obviously, God wants us to know, because he put a lot of smart, dumb people, I mean, I'm just talking about myself, out there and learning about things that they would never even, I mean, I couldn't even describe. It's not, this is not my cup of tea. I want to smoke a joint, go to the racetrack, gamble on a few things, and, you know, look at the nice ladies and be nice to everybody. And I'm getting all this information. I mean, why is God showing us this? Because he wants to show us at the same time what life is all about. He's also showing us how to communicate with each other and the reason. But people overlook the reason. They take things for granted. It's so important. Now, I don't have my lighter, and I definitely want my lighter. So where do you think my lighter went? I had a lighter. I didn't have a lighter. So much for MrTacpans, eh? I was talking. So God wants us. Why does God want us to know? Why does God want us to know? Well, if we knew why we were here, would we care anymore? We just want to have a good time, right? But if we knew why we were here and how this all works, it's this that brings us back to God. When we want, not exactly what we know, but when we want to know more about God and more about God, we'll start finding the gods. I believe that a lot of things will diminish and we won't have as many diseases, because our will to do the right thing will defeat the will to do the wrong thing. And when wrong is out of the way, good things start to happen. Cancer starts to stop. Don't forget, every time you change an element of God, you have now changed it, sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse. Don't forget, God has something that we don't have. He's got time and experience over every single man. Imagine, I know one man with time and experience over everybody. In fact, I know two men. Christ and Hashem. C and H, right? Canadians hockey, Christ and Hashem. CHJ. Start putting together Christ with Hashem. Then add a little bit of the Alagod, the angel residence. Maybe invite over Jack and George. Maybe that's why George was in the jungle. We'll start understanding more about the beta god of Aleph and Beta. Why Gamma came into the room and looked at Delta and says, I'm taking you with me. Did you know that? Delta looked at Gamma and he says, Gamma, we're going for a walk. Because I don't know if you noticed at all, but these things walk. You ever see the flappy shoes on the duck, and the duck, and he's got his flappy shoes? He can walk, but you see the line in between, balancing between the two sides? Well, this is not the same as this one. When you balance between the two sides, right, it goes like this and like this, inside this. The reason I think we're on this, and there has to be one out here and another one here, one is for man and one is for the angel. I didn't put them out there because somehow there's more than one of these. And the only way through travel in space, okay, is to have something a little bit longer because I believe space at some point is very hot, very cold, very thick, and weightless at certain points. How can you have perfect space more than what God has created? Because that's not the way it works in the universe. It goes, in order to recreate, it can't be perfect. It has to keep recreating itself. So in order for us to travel, our omega, alpha, omega, here, you see this? Alpha, you see the ace here? Omega, alpha, omega. This is the way God travels. This is his plane. And he's flying through space, and it's probably like this. There's maybe 4, 6, oh, excuse me, there's got to be 6, because everything is about 6, right? So there got to be 6. Maybe that's why we don't have the 4th 6, because that would be the center of his rocket ship. And we're flying through this space, because if we were just left out there and created just like this, hell would freeze over tomorrow, or it'd be too hot, and we'd melt, we'd crunch. So God has to build something from within his own system. So he built us from, again, you can see it. I have one over here, his own shape. The other one I want to mention is, again, we have the Pontiac, and we have another Pontiac, and inside that is a middle world. And it goes all the way down, and we have another one here. And it goes all the way down, we have another one here. I'm not sure which theory to go with, but you do have to know that I believe that X or delta has to be at the top and at the bottom. Or would that be, delta would be on both sides. I got my father on the left, my mother to the right. I got my mother below me. Anyways, I got my mother below me. Oh my God. Did you hear what I just said? Below. What a weird word. Hey, honey, come below. Honey, you gonna come below? Honey, honey, honey sticks. So if you come below, you'll be all sticky. Honey, are you coming downstairs? Are you coming below? But if you come, blow, come and blow me. Blow me and I'll come. Then we'll be all sticky because you're my honey. Pretty simple. I used to be your angel. But angels sometimes don't have soft wings. Anyways, to end this, look at that, what I got down here. Speed. What would that word be? Spirit, the one spirit of the sixth angle of the electronic spirit world of delta. But if you read it backwards, it's deep. Deeps. Deep. Okay, sperm. This letter connecting. Do you ever connect the P? You ever write in the fancy writing cursive and go ahead and connect the P? When you connect the P to something, sometimes that P becomes an R. So what word would you have to do? So if you put PB, okay, a small b off your P. Hold on a second. I didn't ask any small b to get off your P. Okay. Weird. You see the way it happens? You start talking about one thing, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about somebody's going to pee. Because that's what God does with all the words. He makes everything funny by leaving a tutu there. You know, 2 and 2. Anyways, one of the ways it all began was the question of one dot here, one dot here. God comes in the center. It's a line. Then God has to even it out, so he puts one dot in the center. He goes a space out here, a space out here. He puts this together. He becomes an X. So you see this design, the X in the center. Why did I do that? Because this A is the same thing. Anyways, I have the X in the center, okay? This would be 16 and 19 in roulette. This would be 17 and 20 in roulette. And this would be 18, 21. The top up here is 14. The bottom down here is 23. 23 and 14 is 37. 16 and 19 is 35, and that would be PR. It's the same color because those two are the same color. Over here, I made a little mistake. This should have been black. All this should be black. There's more black on this than I'm going to try and get it out. You see, like I said the other day, okay, you see the way this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one only has 1 over here, or actually 2, sorry, okay, because you can't go in the center. The center is the split. It's what the center is. Add what is in the center to this side and add what's in the center to this side. Or add this side to the center and add this side to the center. And then what you get is the value of this side, because this is all about man. So you have this. Look, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's number 24 or 42. 42 stands for 9. 42 stands for 5. 24, okay, is the same thing, the same number again. That's the way it's connected. The angel gets 2 parts. The man gets 4 parts. What are the other 2 parts that he gets? He gets the Spirit of God with him and the gates of God. Well, why doesn't the 4 get it? Because the 4 is it. You know what I'm saying? The 4 is it. Can't get it. It's it. That's the problem, because it's it. It's almost like me talking and not mentioning me at all. The 4 is the narrator to the whole thing. So we end up with 6. Now on this side, and this side, and this side, it's perfect. One diamond, 2 diamonds, 1 triangle. 1 diamond, 2 diamond.
Diamonds are forever. It must be for the beta female. What do you think? And it's the connection to everything, creating D's and C's. Do you see the VCD? No, I see the IPR, but the IPR is with the SMA. But that's okay, because when the SMA's around, if the GSMA and the orgasm's with it, that's correct. Because when you got the orgasm with everything, you're in heaven. Because the orgasm spells the world of beta, the spirit of God, delta, and the gates, the passage of the E-world is all inside the orgasm. So anyways, where did we get to? So we now have, look, 1, 2 diamonds, okay, for this God, and 2 for this God. This one is orange. Why? Because this God and this God mix it up to get this color. These 2 created this color. 1 and 2 created 1. 1, 2, 3 creation. And when you run the line like this, from here to here, or here to here, or here to here, it's a 7 or a Lexus. Anyways, we have delta, which is the 4 God. And the reason why it's pointed this way, okay, is because it's dragging this and this, which is 1 and 4 together. That's what this line does, which is the letter M at the end. It drags 1 and 4 together. Excuse me, it grabs 1 and 9 together, 7 together to create this box over here. But in this box, these are only 6. This is 1, this is 3, this is 7, this is 9. They all belong to alpha. Okay, now I got to do something with these boxes and show you something a little bit different. Now what happens is, you see these little tails I put? Because this is the tail that goes from the top diamond here. Don't forget to smug and dub it. I had to close it in, okay, by the octagon world, which is closed in by omega, which is held between alpha and alpha omega. And this is the letter M inside, and W, and all kinds of stuff. So anyways, I cross it here and here. So this part over here, going from 1 to 9 and 3 to 7 equals 20, plus the center over here is worth 5. Now what we're going to go do is take only the points, okay, of 2, 4, 6, and 8, okay? And here's the points. 2, 4, 2, 6, 8, 4. Total 20. The inside was worth 25. The outside is worth 20. 25 is the 2-5 God, and 20 is the beta heaven, or the letter T, the transfer heaven. Okay, now I know there's more to explain how the universe connects and all the energies come together, but we're not there yet. Okay, so what we have over here is a total of 45. I just gave you a total of 45 in here. And if you add up 1 to 9, it totals 45. But there's more, because there's the numbers up here, and then there's numbers down here. And these aren't the numbers I want to use. Okay, this here also would make 20, and this square here would make 20. I didn't put anything together. I didn't put the X in here. Okay, I'm not sure if it goes there, although there's a line here where the X can go, and there's a line over here where the X can go. So it's a little out of shape. The only one that has the shape here is beta. 20 beta, 20 beta, 20 beta, 60. That 60 is the same value count as the word for, which in French means cat. So anyways, we get that in that 20, 40, 60. Plus the 25 that we counted for the X value inside is the total of 85 or 58.
85 is the speed limit in Montana and Texas. Okay, it's also the number of silver, Mercedes, and the Matrix. Actually, Mercedes is more, but I always add that in. Okay, so now we have this. Now what we're going to come to next is this diagram over here, which I started in my last video. 7, 5. One of the reasons I've told you it's 7, it's got 4 points on the outside, 1 in the center. Okay, but when you add the line straight through it, okay, the energy of Christ, it now becomes 1 and 2 lines at the bottom. So your 5 becomes 7. And that's why. Because when there's a line through, you count the top of the line, the bottom of the line, because it started somewhere, it's going to end somewhere. That's all we want to know. Top of the line, bottom of the line. 2, whatever number it is all the way up, it's going to start somewhere, it's going to end somewhere. Isn't that the way it works? If it doesn't start and it doesn't stop and it keeps on going. And you'd be talking about the Energizer battery. So what we're going to do now is this is a 5 value, this is 4. X equals 10 plus 24, again the 2 and 4. Why? Because the X is the 24th letter. So right away, God connects everything, and he's also the 24th letter, connecting man, the spirit, and the heavens all to one. Plus, he's number 5, because he's got 5 points on him. See, he's 10, but he's 5. You got to figure out the reason why he's 10, but he's 5. 5 and 5, he's 10. He's the 5 God. Up here, he creates the top part and the bottom part. Just flip this around, and it becomes this. Flip this around, it becomes this, but you lose the center. So 5 and 4. So 10 and 24 equals 34. And number 34 talks about the Baltic and number 1. 5 is added because of the 5 points here, which totals to 39. 39 is the representation of the word 10, which is perfection, because all these connections are perfect. I mean, how wrong can you go? They're there where they are. I can't make them wrong. I'm showing you they have to be hooked up. Well, check if there's power in it. Of course there's power in it. It's coming out of me. I'm the power of the figures. I'm the lines and the shapes. I make what they are, and I tell you what they are. Either you believe or you don't. You come up with your own hypothesis. But if you come up with your own hypothesis, I'd like you to do what I do. Let's share. There's so much in this business that I'm in that for some reason I don't think the whole world would ever finish this. Okay? Because it's a forever changing world. Is that the way they say it? No, we can probably figure the whole thing out. But then once you get down to the basics, now you want to go down a little bit deeper. How did our DNA get created? What is our DNA of? I mean, I started going into the elements. I know right away when I hit the elements, the first thing I do is I go to number 1 and 2 when I put them together. And 1 and 2, it creates 4 or 5 different elements. I looked at what they are. I asked somebody. Nobody knew. But then I found a page to where they both connected. Okay, anyways, let me go on to 22 and 22. Okay, so now where we are. So now we came up to 39 of this total value. The X is in Roman numeral 10. The X is the 24th letter. The X, 5 value. The X is Aleph. The Aleph letter. Okay, it doesn't look like it, but that's what it is. But it's not only 5. Because with these little things on Aleph turned in, these little pieces here, because when you get the Aleph letter, basically, these two come together to make the Aleph. Okay, so as you see, there's a point over here we no longer have to close. So an Aleph, because of these short lines, because what has to happen inside, it's automatic. It's automatic that once you make the outside X, you can now create the box on the inside. But this had to be done over 3 lines in order to create this box. Automatically, this X in 2 boxes, you need to put the center point in it, and automatically it creates 9. So I'm going to just show you over here how that works. You don't mind that I bent over and I'm not showing you? Okay. Okay, so I put the little box here, over here, and then it creates this. Now, let me put my X back where it was. Putting my X back where it was. So now you see I have the X back where it was. Now you're going to ask me, oh, what's all these little lines? Well, I finished a box in the center, and there's corners, and every corner is going to have to show tails of lines, because there's every time there's something at a corner, you'll have, look, always 3 marks, 3 marks, 3 marks, 3 marks, right? The same thing as a corner. You have 1 side, 2 sides, and then 3 sides. Same thing for all the corners. So now you end up with this. So now that you have this, okay, what you got to take and do is you got to stretch out the corners all the way to the end. So I'm going to stretch out my corners and my lines all the way to the end. Okay, so now I stretch out my lines. Now we got a problem. Where's this? Where's this? Where's omega? Omega is right here. Inside of alpha, omega comes out. Now when omega comes out, right, don't forget she's based on 2 worlds. Look what happens. Her connection passes on the outside of these lines. There's no way to create her without passing on the outside. I'm not connecting 2 and 4 or 2 and 6 on the inside. The omega square has to be done like this, okay, in which this, okay, the continuation of this, and this ends up creating the Magen David. Now, if I can actually turn around and see, let me see this. And there you go. Now you got the Magen David in it. All I did is put the delta. You got to cap everything. But see that D corner? They're all D's and V's. They're all capped and cornered. So this would be the total of your value now. This is how all the numbers work. But from here, there's more. Because from this line and this line, you must stretch out. See the center over here? Right here? Center over here. Start here and start here. What you have to do is I'm just trying to do it the best way possible. It has to be done like this. You have no choice. You see, because see this line over here? It's in between. This should be an open line, but it's not. It's a closed line because there's another world that must connect to it. Okay, do you understand? It's right in between the 2 lines. I'm not really supposed to finish there. I have to do like this. So, and one of the reasons for that is you're going to say, well, you're going to mix them all up. Everything turns into just a whole bunch of short lines. It's just like the soccer ball. Do you know what the soccer ball is, or what happens to the corners? I mean, I didn't draw it properly, but the corner of a stop sign. If I would put 2 stop signs together, just keep connecting stop signs, what's going to be missing in pieces? Whatever's missing in pieces is going to be included, what you don't see in here. Sometimes it looks like an envelope, closed and open. There's so many things, But I don't know why the Chinese, they talk so funny, because it could be a woman. Is that silly wabbit? Is that why the Chinese talk so funny? Or the Asian people? Or how about the people from Australia? You know what? I couldn't even talk like the people from Australia. Chinese is good. I like the Chinese. I just like the expression. Somehow they seem to always want to give their best. But I feel that in the last so many hundreds of years, scattered around North America are a lot of different kinds of races that are actually not even standing by the race that represents them. And the reason for that is we've been so screwed over, pushed around, and we've changed. Okay, and I'm not making people funny of the Asian people. I'm making funny of the whole world. Chantilly lace had a pretty face and a ponytail, hanging down with a wiggle and a walk and a giggle and a talk. Watch the world go round and round. How's that go again? No, with a wiggle and a walk. It's a big eye. No. Chantilly lace had a pretty face and a ponytail, hanging down with a wiggle and a walk and a giggle and a talk, and watch the world go round and round. There's nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl. Make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose like a long-necked goose. Oh, baby, that's what I like. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Together we work. I make fun of no one, my friends. We are all one. We are all together to have fun, to work, to enjoy the life, the beautiful place that the God put us from the heavens down here inside. These electronic bodies? No, we're alive. We're electronics. How do you think we feed ourselves? How do we feed ourselves? One of the items in us say, hey, he ate steak. Break that steak up into 30,000 pieces. I need my cut. I mean, who tells the body that? Obviously we're not, when you get cancer, you start to grow all fucked up. Because CANCER, it's two different worlds. CAN, creation, angel, and the past. The cancer is what's the tie is, which is the spirit electronic angel resident, but it's not the angel resident. It's SER. It's from the other world. It's ER and it's not AR. So there's a difference between AN and ER. Okay, if you reverse it backwards, it goes, anyways, I'm not going to say the word, but backwards it's not nice. Anyways, I didn't finish this part before I go. I have to stop and do this part. Wait a second, I see a lighter, and I'm going to light up a cigarette. Chantilly lace had a pretty face and a ponytail. Then the other part of this one, okay, which would be the O, which I never did. Now the O is the 15th letter. The O has 4 points. This means the egg, okay, 1 with 4 points, 1 with 5 points. Creation of 1 with 4 points and 1 with 5 points, that also says pi. So those two together are the actual explanation of pi, 3.14, 3.15. They've got the center point. They're first because the point they have, okay, from the 1 comes right from the 1, but it comes from the point 1,4. It's because of the point that's before the 1,4 that makes this one have the point, because it comes right after it. What I'm trying to say is the 5 is already gone. He's got the point. She needs the point. Anyways, 15 plus 4 is a total of 19. Again, the one spirit of 9. This and this is 19, and that is the spirit of birth. So if you put them together between this combination here, 39 and 15 and 4, 39 and 15, or 39 and 4 is the Baltic. It's 43. And 15 is 58. Don't you remember what I told you before? The reverse of the 85. 3 worlds, 20, 20, 20 is 60. And then the X, 2 and 5 worlds, 4 and 6, 2 and 5. 20, 40, 60, plus 25 is 85. 95, 105, which is a poker game of bluff. 125. 125 equals 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125. 1 spirit of the 2-5. 1 spirit of the 2-5. 1 spirit of the 7th heaven. 1 spirit of the 7. 1 and 7 is 8. Whatever you want to do, my friends, whatever you want to do, there's just so much. So I hope I show it to you properly. I'm not trying to actually teach you. I told you. Look at these two guys down here with their open mouth. And then, because you know what happens? You ever see letters with a round part missing in the front? That's because that letter connects to the center 5 central position. And it's directly connected to the rounds. When they separate the two, right, or just show the round, you put things together, but you make a round hole in the middle, you pull it away. Okay? You can see everything around it has got a round hole that connects to it. And that's one of the bottom parts of the clock. When the hand goes on the clock, it goes around. There's a round open circle. There's a needle in the clock, and then there's a round circle that goes around it. And then an arm comes from the bottom, and an arm comes from the top, and it connects it together. Now, what the bottom says, is what the middle will be. What the top says is what the middle will be. Like on the arm and the clock, when your big hand goes, it ain't attached to the hand on the bottom, but it shows you a little piece just sticking out, showing you in what area they're actually referring to. Raphael 7286. You know what? What are we going to do? What would we do? Let's say just white it out, right? Just white it out. That's all. I mean, how many things should we actually do? You know, you just white it out. Okay, you just white it out. Now, you see this? It looks like an E, but it's an F. And if I turn it, if I turn it this way, okay, on the side, I want to show you the pitchfork effect and the shin and the sin. How many different ways I can show you what is the sin and what is the shin? Well, it's pretty simple. The shin is the spirit connect. The sin is a spirit connect. The one spirit connect, and the shin is the creation of the man, the creation part of the one spirit. Don't forget, our cars rust. The color is yellow. It's the 1 pool ball and the 9. Whenever do you say things are liming? I want to know more about what lime is all about. Lime, time. Lime, shine. Lime, mine. Lime, turpentine. Raphael 7286. But you know why it goes with turpentine? T-I-N-E. 29, 39, 43, 48. Teen, T-E-E-N, 44. These two are both connected, teen and tine. One is 20, and the other one can be connected if you want to say Valentine. I brought together and showed you number 46. You can also use these as the 45. Okay, you want to know about Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day. The X gets 5, the O gets 4. Valentine's Day is the 45th day of the year. But on the 54th day of the year, okay, it becomes the 23rd of the month, which is beta creation. And that's how you get those numbers. Is it right? Is it true? I don't know what actually is true. The common sense knowledge of the numbers say it is true. So then, therefore, based on the numbers, everything I have said is true. Have I made any mistakes in this video? Not too many. Have I left some unfinished business? Certainly most of the time I do. And I'll try and get back to it if you remind me of what it is. I appreciate it, and thank you. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus and Mr. Tacpans. Thank you.